guys remember when here in the US there was something being done, you got public comments before the project started? Usually the public comments never changed anything, but at least you got to put your comment out there. Trump says no more of that. He says we're going to sell the Arctic oil leases immediately without the comments since they don't do any good. Really? What a fascist. So, right over here is the city, and we're going to go down this way and continue the video on another beautiful California summer's day. It's probably going to be 70, 71, 72. It depends on the wind. Right now the wind's coming up right from the east, which means it's going to be very warm. When it comes from the west, it means it's going to be kind of cool in the 50s. Okay, it's really noisy out because everyone's outside because it's so nice. So what does it mean, no public comment anymore? Well, for the Arctic, the oil leases up in the Alaska wilderness in Alaska, in the Wildlife Refuge, is Trump wants to start selling these leases immediately without even public comment. That way he gives his buddies kickback. So loud today. Jeez. Now that we have a Führer instead of Congress or anything, he's going to start the leases being sold right away against Congress's wishes. They will be starting on January 6, 2020. This will be a very nice handout to the fossil fuel industry. But as far as the area goes, it will end up looking more like this than the way it does now, like this. The native Gwich'in tribe lives there and is trying to stop these sales immediately because it will poison the polar bear, the caribou, and all the fish that run in the rivers and the lakes and all this. As we've seen in what happened, of course, in Russia, they had the major oil spill back in May, and now we just find out about it in the Arctic. It does happen. How could it not? It happens outside the Arctic. It's going to happen in the Arctic much worse. Some banks have decided not to fund this kind of project. Well, see, that's where you and I can come in by not supporting banks that do. In fact, I'd get rid of any accounts at any corporate banks and go with a credit union that you research real well. The Wildlife Refuge was founded by President Roosevelt in 1903. He had a good reason to keep it pristine, but yet the almighty dollar says it will not stay pristine for very much longer. To save this refuge, call Tim Woodley at 1-907-223-2443 or email him at tom-woodley@tws.org and see if you can do something to try and stop this horrible situation in the north. Over 70% of people polled in the U.S. say they do not want oil drilling in the northwest or the Arctic at all. 70%. Isn't that something we should pay attention to? So it's very unfortunate. But it does look like oil drilling will start in in the Wildlife Refuge soon. And you know why? Because the people let it happen. Didn't contact Biden hard enough. You know, the environmental president. He actually did say he was going to start drinking his soft drinks out of cans instead of plastic bottles. I definitely do appreciate all the ups, downs, and new subscribers and the comments. I read every comment, and even though there's a lot of them coming on now, I appreciate that. It gets the channel up in YouTube a little higher, and then there'll be more subscribers, which makes it appear on YouTube more. But I don't really care whether you subscribe or not, because that's your own prerogative, and maybe that's the way you give a signal to how you feel about the whole thing. But your comments are always welcome. Until next time.